Hello, everybody. Wow, got like really close to you. How you doing? Good? Good, good, good. So, today, as you've clicked on the video, we're going to be talking about the scale of consciousness. So, I am R the Silent. I will be your ferryman for today's journey. So pull aside or pull up or get in the ferry. Get in the boat right now. Get in the boat. Okay, we in? All right, buckle up. Here we go. So for the first, and this is obviously just levels of consciousness. So when I talk about dimensions, it's going to be more towards, because some of these dimensions have, obviously, like the astral realm is different from the fourth dimension or the 4D of consciousness. So just bear that in mind as we are driving along. So to the left, you'll see that we have the first level of consciousness. Yep. And you'll see water and minerals and some plants. Some plants. I think. Maybe plants. No, no plants. No, no plants. All right. Maybe some DNA on the ground there. That sounds terrible. Oh man. Um. So to further explain, the first dimension is the dimension of. I'm sorry. Is the dimension of it resonates on the level of water, minerals, and the genetic code encoding of human DNA. So there's that. And if you look to the right, in the second dimension, this is where the plants grow, right? We have here the lower animals of the lower vibrational frequency or of consciousness, so to speak, as well as plants and our automatic nervous system, which would be very difficult to see in like a fairy, but just bear that in mind. So everything here resonates like on a frequency that has the desire and will to eat, procreate, and fight. So we have some animals, we have some plants, and then of course the autonomic nervous system. Oh man, that was hard for me. Okay, so let's keep moving forward, right? So here we go. We're starting to get to more complex things. So if you look to the left, over here, you will see third dimensional consciousness humans, right? And what that basically means is being in the third dimension is the beginning and basics as far as consciousness is concerned when it comes to the ability to recognize ourselves, right? The ability to recognize or have the awareness of ourselves, which we think makes us special. But I'm sure there's plenty of other planets and star systems that have life on it. So, also, on this specific level of awareness, I guess, consciousness. So it is the knowledge of the interconnectedness of the universe, but we're not part of it yet at this level of awareness. So a lot of times, no. Actually, rather, what happens here is a paradigm of cause and effect and like cause and effect in time and space. So, paradigm of cause and effect. So like karma, and then of course time and space, and also when it comes specifically to human beings, we tend to live in the past and the future kind of like simultaneously, and as we get closer to the future, the past back here is kind of goes farther and farther away, right? So we sorry, my cat is like chill. We the farther away we get from our past, the further the further we get from the higher dimensional frequencies of like fourth dimension, fifth or sixth dimensional consciousness and awareness. So like what I mean when I say that is like the more that we push our past behind us and we don't actually deal with our problems, we tend to fight the same battles throughout our lives. And that's not very good. No, it's not. And this can also lead to limiting belief systems, or knowledge of self. And lack of knowledge of self, vibrationally and emotionally speaking, can cause us to work harder than we actually have to. So not assimilating our subconscious mind into our conscious like frequency, so suppose doing shadow work will cause a lot of strife in this specific zone of the third dimension of awareness. Yes. Right? So the fourth dimension. So what the fourth dimension does, or fourth dimensional frequency. So what I mean when I keep saying third dimension and fourth dimension. So like when you see online that's like, oh, we're moving into 5D reality, or we're moving into 4D reality, and we're moving into the dimensions of consciousness, or ability to think a certain way. So yeah, so the fourth dimension in this specific aspect, and I stopped doing the fairy thing because clearly once you get past the third dimension, it gets harder and harder to see the higher vibrational frequencies. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's actually really true. So when you're in 4D consciousness, that's more in line with the astral dimension, and here lies our spiritual powers, psychic abilities, advanced dreaming, ability to cast magic and creativity. So like the 4D and all of these things is the unconscious mind. And of course its consciousness lies within our astral bodies. I use this mouse, but I don't have a computer. Well, this is the beginning of unity consciousness as far as it's concerned. So this is the frequency that a lot of indigos came into, like in the 60s and 70s on till probably about 1998, which I could do a separate video on indigo children, but this is the frequency that most indigos start at. Their aura, obviously, they're named after their aura, which is indigo. Some more pure than others, so some of them have this kind of like unity consciousness, or they tend to have psychic abilities, but like I was saying earlier, going through school and classes makes those abilities kind of disappear, so you kind of have to rediscover your spiritual powers in a sense. And people with 4D mindsets, I'm just going to start calling it that from now on, right? So people with 4D mindsets, they tend to become warriors for causes that benefit either the planet or the people living, or animals, or any being living upon planet Earth. We can only really fight this fight together as far as not destroying ourselves. Right. Fifth dimension. So the fifth dimension is the 5D mindset is unity, complete unity. And here you see interconnectedness with the universe and all beings, as far as God, goddess, source. It all comes together here with the 5D mindset. And what that means is there is total and complete acceptance, forgiveness, and there's no judgment, no guilt, no negativity towards people who, or ourselves, who are trying to reach the higher realms of consciousness. Meaning, if you're on 4D, sometimes people get a little ego boost and they tend to get stuck in like this paradigm of making other people feel bad because they're vibrating at a lower frequency, which in fact lowers your own frequency. So when you get to 5D, it's all about unity. It's the law of one. Everything is interconnected. We are all one. And it's not just the knowledge of it, it's the feeling of being connected with everything else in the universe. And that's why it's absolutely important. Man. There's also the realm of forgiveness, just to be clear, which is why it's vitally important to be kind to others and not judge people based upon things or actions that they do or take or steal or are around, or whatever the excuse is that you may have to make fun of someone else. Don't. It's the understanding that hurting them is hurting yourself, because we are all source energy. We are all gods and goddesses, or well, I guess that's a little bold to say, but I guess I'll tone it down a little bit, huh? We're all divine in nature, but we're all the same as far as energetically speaking. So don't hurt people, because if you hurt someone, you sow the seeds of pain, and they turn around and hurt someone else, and then they'll hurt someone else again, and that person will go out and hurt someone else. It's like what do you call that thing with businesses? Like I don't know. It's like marketing, right? Good marketing. One person tells another person, and then that person is that other person's friend, and then those two go off and tell somebody else. That's sowing the seeds of pain and suffering. So be the change you want to see in the world, There's a saying, which I obviously can't remember right now, but don't judge, just love, man. And it's not a hippy dippy thing, man. We all just want to sit around and have some fun, man. It's common freaking courtesy. We never know what people are going through. They could be alone, they could be suffering, they could have cancer, they could be being beaten by their wife, husband, father, mother. Could have just gotten kicked out, that's why they're stealing things. They could be alone and in pain and suffering, and causes them to act out, or they just, perhaps they have a past. Everybody has a past, right? I'm not saying you have to go out and openly trust these people who are expressing their pain in misguided ways, because you never know, it could hurt you in all of their strife. So be safe, but also be courteous, right? And I'm gonna stop at 6D, the sixth dimension of consciousness, man. I'm gonna stop at 6D, and then I'll do another video for 7 to 12 next week, and just kind of keep that all together. So in sixth dimension, this is where the crystal consciousness is. This is a very high dimensional frequency. Also, indigos also can be born into the 5D mindset, not just the fourth. So crystal children, or which are also actually indigos. Wow, did you see that hair? Oh my god. Okay, sorry. They're also indigo children as well. There's different waves of indigo children. And just bearing that in mind, that certain waves, alpha, delta, beta, gamma, right? Some of them also have a double meaning towards their birth chart, meaning not their birth chart, but like the specific years that were born in the indigo, that they are also as well, but that specific year and the constant frequency, don't bite me, frequency and vibrations that they're vibrating on are so grand and spectacular, right? Or different from other indigos, that they are given in different names, such as crystal children, rainbow children, indigos, right? So, crystal children. So these people, or babies, more like, they're born with access to magic. Their spiritual gifts are typically unlocked, but they have a specific mindset. So they think that all life, or people on this 6D mindset, all life is directed and coordinated by advancing through the work of spirit. So they're already on like the interconnectedness. They've already got, everything is connected. They have access to the fourth dimension as well, of course, meaning like they have all of their like spiritual gifts and powers and access to magic as well, typically when they're born. Now, going back to the whole school situation where you go to class and your teacher's like, "Here, write this," and you're like, "I just want to take a nap," and stressful times. I agree with you. Very stressful times. Kind of wish I could go back though. Life was a little easier. Kidding. I got way too much stuff to go back. And who's going to take care of my cat, right? Besides, this isn't about me. This is about the crystal consciousness. Right. So they have their magic, their advanced spirituality. They have their consciousness mindset of interconnectedness. Oh my God. And they just kind of surrender to the flow of the spirit's evolution, so to speak. Over time, it's easier for them. So yeah, I believe that's about all I have. And this video is running kind of long anyway, so I'm hoping I can get this done in 20 seconds. Ready? Okay. So, if you like this video, smash that like button. And subscribe. I come out with videos once a week. I don't want to tell you that I'm going to do them on a specific day because I've been very consistent on doing them on Saturday because of the specific way that I think about things in my head. So there it is for you, right? And next week's video will be upon the different dimensions of reality. No. Scratch that. Different levels of consciousness. Scales. The scales. And, yeah, the fairy blew up. I'm sorry. So, yeah, like, subscribe. My cat demands it, or she'll steal your soul. And let me tell you something. This cat will absolutely steal your soul. Huh. Say bye.